At a time when America was grappling with overcrowded hospitals, school closures, and shuttered businesses, thousands of fraudsters were swindling the federal government out of billions of dollars in COVID-19 relief funds. That's according to an Associated Press investigation. Its analysis found that more than $280 billion in emergency funding was potentially stolen. Another $123 billion was wasted or misspent. The AP says the total loss amounts to 10% of the $4.2 trillion the U.S. government has disbursed in COVID relief aid. For more on this, I am joined by Richard Lardner. He's one of the reporters who helped conduct this investigation. Richard, in the article, you write how, quote, the grift was just way too easy. I mean, there were cases where money was paid out to names like John Doe. Why was it so easy to do that?
Speed was the priority early on. The goal was to get money out the door very, very quickly. This was an almost unprecedented national emergency, and decisions were made that getting money to people fast was the priority over making sure it went to the right people or not to people who were trying to steal it.
And could anything have been done different? Was there a small fix that could have been made to avoid this unprecedented amount of fraud, or if go ahead?
Sure. Sorry. Michael Horowitz, who is the chairman of the Federal Pandemic Response Accountability Committee, also the Department of Justice Inspector General, has said there is a Treasury Department database called Do Not Pay that will, if you run a name through it, you may find somebody is a convicted felon or a debarred contractor or somebody who should not get federal money. They did not do that early on. And Horowitz has said it wouldn't have taken that long. There was this choice between speed and then thinking if you used things like Do Not Pay, that would take weeks or just way too long, and they wouldn't be able to help people so quickly. But he disagrees with that.
And so, what are the consequences for the people who stole this money?
That is still being accounted for. I think that's one of the interesting parts of this. Is there have been Justice Department has told us more than 2,200 defendants charged so far. There are thousands of investigations underway. Congress last year approved and President Biden signed an increase on the statute of limitations for SBA, Small Business Administration program crimes from 5 to 10 years. And there's a push to make unemployment insurance fraud, which was another huge source of fraud in pandemic relief, from 5 to 10 years. So federal investigators, prosecutors, inspector generals are going to be busy with this for quite a long time.
And Richard, help me sort through. Isn't there a bunch of money that's still yet to be paid out from the tranches of money that were rushed out the door to address COVID-19?
Yeah. There's still money that not every dollar was spent immediately. There's money that went to other places that has a longer lead time in order to spend it. So the accounting is still being done. But Congress allocated and administrations approved over $5.2 trillion, perhaps a little bit more. But the actual amount spent, according again to that Pandemic Response Accountability Committee, is about $4.2 trillion to date. And those numbers will be updated. But that's their current accounting.
All right, Richard Lardner, investigative reporter for the Associated Press. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you.